There was a person who walked into shul and he saw an interesting sight. He saw over there that Ruvain was telling Shimon that he should really stop to talk in the middle of Chazaras Hashatz, the repetition Shmon Esrei in davening. And he said it to him politely the first time, and he didn't stop, and then he told him again, and he raised his voice, "Can you please stop? Can you please stop?" And after the few times that he was telling him, he said, "What are you rebuking me for? You're embarrassing me in public. That's the worst sin you can do." And the question is, who's right over here? The one who spoke and got embarrassed in public, or the person who was trying to rebuke him because he didn't want him to go and talk in the middle of Chazaras Hashatz? So the truth is, very interesting. The Pri Megadim in Siman Kuf Chav Dalid is brought down also in the Mishnah Berurah and in other places. They bring down that some of the Achronim discuss this question, and they say that a person who speaks in the middle of Chazaras Hashatz during the repetition of Shmon Esrei, a person is supposed to go and be goyer. They should scream at them and tell them to stop doing that. It's something which is permitted to do, and one should do that. That's what's brought down in the Achronim, and the Mishnah Berurah brings it down also. And the question always that comes up is that, how do we take this halacha? So a person should walk into shul, if you see somebody talking in Chazaras Hashatz, you should start screaming at him. So it's not exactly so simple. Definitely the approach that some of the poskim say to do is to try to come and rebuke silently, to do something, to make some type of hint that he should stop, he shouldn't go, and to continue to do this. But of course, one has to remember is that the whole reason why this is permitted is because in the middle of Hashem's shul, in the Beis HaKnesses, while we are in the middle of davening, a person who is speaking is definitely making a tremendous chil Hashem. A tremendous chil Hashem to go and talk while we are trying to go and daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. To do that in the middle of davening is not a good thing b'chlal, as we see that the ikar halacha is that you're permitted even to scream at someone from doing that. However, when it comes to how exactly to behave, it's definitely brought down, especially if we're not talking about the Rav of the shul, rather we're talking about the different congregants who are standing there with him. I would advise that you should try benachas to go and tell them, please, can you be quiet, and try to do it as much as you can. It's definitely something that will have a chance of being accepted upon when the person hears the rebuke, rather than screaming at him, even though the ikar halacha is that one is permitted to do that. And therefore we should all try to go and fulfill this halacha properly, which is number one, never to speak in the middle of Chazaras Hashatz or in the other parts of davening, and of course, to be able to rebuke our friends, it should be done in a way where they would accept it. And of course, if we know they're not going to accept it, then we have to go and try to find a different way, whether the Rav should get involved or something like that. Thank you all for listening. Have a great day.